in our society, we're thinking a lot about health in other ways as well. I'll start with, we're talking about diet, we're talking about exercise a lot more. You see this all over social media. I do think that there's a lot of noise. What are some of the misconceptions you see about all these lifestyle changes that are recommended as well?
Oh, paleo, every diet somebody has told me about, somebody sent me an email about it or a text. And personally, I believe in the Mediterranean diet, which I think is really about balance, right? I tell my patients you can eat well 85% of the time, 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time you can indulge a little bit, because I think that anything that's too strict is not sustainable. That's my personal opinion. Secondly, we were sent a sweatshirt to my company and it said protein, protein, protein. And if I hear the word protein, sometimes I cringe because it's so much hype about the protein and how much protein do you need. And the truth is when you lose weight, you lose muscle mass in proportion to the weight that you are losing. And now with GLP-1s, I know you don't want to talk only about GLP-1s, but you're losing weight much faster, right? So we need resistance training. We need to do cardiovascular training. Life doesn't happen in a bubble. You have to carve out time for it. And there's no quick fix. If you do not exercise, your cardiovascular health is not going to be good. Power walking might not move the needle on the scale for you, but it's going to improve your cardiovascular health. It's going to reduce your risks of cancers. So I think that there's just so much misinformation out there that you have to think about a goal that you can achieve. Sometimes it's just stopping soda, like soda pop. If you stop drinking sodas, and we know a lot of people who drink soda every day, you're going to lose a pound a week just by cutting the soda out of your diet. There's about 12 teaspoons of sugar in one, soda that you can drink. So it's just about small changes. I once heard a trainer tell a child, he said, "Oh, you know what, coach, I only did 2 push-ups today. Yesterday I only did 1. And he said, "Well, you doubled what you did." And you have to look at it that way, with that positive outlook. Small changes.
Awesome. Great. Um, I will stop right there if that's okay, unless you have more, because I love the opportunity. I saw 2 hands go up in the back. But if there are any questions so far, I'd love to pause and give you all time to ask that. What's top of mind for you?
We were talking about the GOP1s. The GOP1 is always looking for more and more what it can be. But I understand that there is a lot of people that are becoming allergy to it or having a side effect of it, and it's not so.
So I can answer that. There's not many allergies. There are about 20% of the population just doesn't lose weight on GLP-1s, and that's their genetics. So about 1 in 5.
So she is in a company
that
that manages sells those GLP-1s.
Okay. Vomiting,
And he
bloating,
is
gas.
in it does concierge for cardiovascular on Miami Beach. So she's pushing GLP-1.
Some people go to unreputable doctors, or the doctors are just not educated. They escalate the dose very quickly, and that will lead to more side effects.
Go ahead.
You have to turn it on.
I'll just add what's really cool about medicine now that we hadn't seen before is that there's so much more information available. There's AI that can help, guide a lot of the care. And I say all that because genetics of people who respond to GLP-1s have actually been discovered. Now, genes, we say load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. So you may have genetics for something, but doesn't mean that the epigenetics, what comes out of it, the phenotype actually comes out. So we do have genes to maybe predict what would work and what would not work, which I find really interesting. And from a population health standpoint, we're going to learn so much more just given the amount of information that we have now. It's no longer trial and error as much, but we're going to learn a ton. There's a lot out there. She had one question though with the microphone.
Two things you mentioned.
We have no limits.
Diane, about the GLP-1. One was when the people gained weight afterward when they use it too quickly, that they usually gain more, if I understood well, more fat mass than muscle mass. So how could